Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Welcome, everyone, to our third edition of Sit Down the Hard Way.
Yeah!
I'm Blade Daly. I am joined by, basically, it's just the same cast of The Hard Way. I am joined by Professor Degree and Brett Michelle.
Yeah!
Yeah.
You just don't want me to do my intro, do you?
No, do it. I want it.
You want me to do it? It's
Oh,
me.
God.
It's me. It's Professor Degree.
Yeah!
Doing it to you in your ear. Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Blade really likes that when I do that.
I'm
I'm going to add more to it, too, so it just gets longer and longer.
No, please
It's
don't.
me. It's me. It's Professor Degree.
I got a PhD in pain and a bachelor's degree in bloodshed. Something. Because I'm a professor.
Well, we're going to workshop that.
I actually, this is the workshop.
He's got a degree in painology.
That's
oh,
right.
my God. Okay, so you're both really bad at this. So let's try to move forward, okay? So anyway, WrestlePalooza, that's what we're here to talk about today. It was really bad, apparently.
Jey Uso hit himself with a chair, I heard.
He was just tired of it.
They didn't have those electromagnetic signals going around during his match. So
Yeah. That was the tinfoil Hatapalooza.
that was the tinfoil hat match where that was the official sponsor. So I think when he doesn't have the radio waves going around his head, he doesn't know how to use a chair.
I didn't know what
I see.
EMF was, so I looked it up. And I'm like, this is literally like, I looked up like the products they sell for it or whatever. I'm like, this is literally just a tinfoil hat. Like,
Right.
Like they've just gone from actually making products to just you're getting a tinfoil hat is what you're getting.
Right.
Wasn't
Yeah.
EMF the band that did Unbelievable?
You're unbelievable.
Oh!
When I heard EMF, I was like, they got EMF to play WrestlePalooza? Like that
Wow.
kind of a
Everybody's
deep cut.
calling him. EMF got back together just to go to WWF.
You baba your questions. You had to tell no lies.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It don't
Don't listen to my replies.
Yep.
Yeah,
The things.
that's
you
going to sell
say-
tickets. That's going to put butts in seats. Anyway,
Are you guys still listening to the show?
because there was a better wrestling show that we all watched too.
A much better wrestling show.
Yeah. So yes, this is a combined WrestlePalooza
Oh!
All Out review.
The
and
WrestlePalooza portion is done.
it's over. We just ended it. It wasn't good, according to everyone I've interacted with who actually watched it. So that is over. And ESPN on its own website gave WrestlePalooza, which aired on its streaming service, the first live event to air on its streaming service, gave it a C. So, wow.
What do you think they really think? I mean, that's what they were willing to say.
That's what they were willing to say publicly. Right.
Right.
They all but called fucking Triple H out in that review too, because it was like, for a show that promised such big surprises and
Yeah.
spectacle, they sure didn't
Yeah.
give us that.
No.
They gave it a C for see you next Tuesday.
Hey!
We're done. Hey-o.
That's
right.
Professor DeCunty.
Oh, we're getting spicy, but spicy is welcomed from all corners. And what we're actually here to talk about, guys, is AEW's All Out show, which, if you didn't know, happened the same day. They counter-programmed WrestlePalooza with All Out.
And AEW said counter-programmed these nuts.
Yeah.
Somebody even had a
basically.
sign that said that.
Yeah,
I didn't even
yes.
know that.
Yeah.
Said
And it was like in the Eddie
counter-programmed these
Kingston
nuts.
t-shirt font. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the Redeem These Nuts
Yeah.
font. Yes. And so we had big returns, big surprises, incredible
Moments.
matches.
Well, that's what happened is Triple K promised all the big returns and surprises. They just happened on the other show.
Yeah, right. He didn't say what show they were going to be on.
Yeah.
He didn't. I mean, He's always working.
I'm done being a tribalist for the show.
I'm not, but I'm going to bring it back up later. So,
yeah, we'll bring it back up later. But
are we talking about the pre-show first or no?
No.
Okay, but we do want to talk about Danny Garcia's music. That's the only thing.
It was dope.
Yes.
Danny Garcia had new music, and I liked that. And I liked, this is something I dig. They've been doing it on Collision 2, where Daddy Magic still backs him. Oh, he won't return my calls. He won't return my calls. But then when he gets in the ring, he's like, come on, Danny, you got this. Like, they're still buddies. And I think that's cool. He hasn't turned.
But he got all up in Danny's face, and Danny basically just looked at him, didn't say a goddamn word, and then crushed fucking Shibata's head in the fucking steps.
Yeah,
but I'm glad. Yep. I like Daniel Garcia, and I'm glad he's finally getting
the day he makes Daddy Magic bleed. I'm gonna be so heartbroken. Nobody rides for Danny like Daddy rides for Danny.
Exactly. This could be awesome.
Danny's gonna spill daddy blood, and that's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be a sad day.
It's gonna give him a taste.
I really do. I've always been a Daniel Garcia fan, and I have friends who enjoy trying to get a rise out of me by mocking Daniel. And I have always seen great potential in him. The promos he was cutting just before his heel turn was like, if we had that as your fiery baby face, probably wouldn't be in this situation. Instead, have him join the Death Riders, give him a more of an edge, and he's going to come out of it great. I actually thought that match with Shibata on the pre-show was fantastic.
Yeah. It was. My only suggestion would be, and I'm a fucking nobody. I have no place to give suggestions to wrestlers, but make that head stomp look a little cooler, like a little more oomph on it,
Yeah, I thought it. I mean, I do think it's kind of the implication of the move, I guess, where it's like it doesn't necessarily jump out at you. Maybe they need to film it from a different angle or something.
That's it,
and that's something I thought about another match on this,
because you can't really do it. Like,
you can't
real,
really do it. No, I mean, you got to let the guy get his hand down or like turn his head completely to the side, so that, especially a guy like Shibata, who's got quite a history there. So there was also a tailgate brawl that I just wanted to touch on briefly. Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale defeated Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. I just want to say I'm really liking the zombie sister kind of thing that Sky Blue and Julia are doing.
Big time.
It's a perfect thing. Joshi and I were talking through private messages earlier today, and just talking about how when they put Tekla with them, neither one of us really thought that was necessary. Like, I don't want her to get lost in the shuffle with them, but they booked Tekla so strong, and I actually think taking the load off of Julia actually has made her better.
Well, yeah, because I think Julia's great, but I mean, I don't think her matches aren't at a level yet where she should be the main attraction yet. But she will be. Like, agreed. I think she's got the potential to be that. I just think she needs some more. She needs a little more seasoning, a little more salt on the
and she and Sky have such great chemistry that
absolutely.
They're just a really great team. And, it's kind of, for a while there, it seemed like they were tamping down the tag teams and the women's thing. And now it feels like it's kind of bubbling up again.
I agree with all that. I agree with all that stuff. Everything you said. I love those three, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tekla, later in the night looked
we'll get to
absolutely fucking awesome. So we get to the main show. We get to the main show, and they don't fuck around. This card was loaded, although it felt like it got loaded up kind of late. And so, it didn't necessarily feel like these matches were blood feuds or anything necessarily, aside from a few exceptions. But kicking it off with Copeland and Christian versus FTR was a bold choice that I ended up being absolutely the right choice. How did you guys feel going into this match? Were you excited for it? Were you just like, let's see what happens?
No, I was excited for it. I think there was there were a couple weeks where the buildup felt a little like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, you know, but the last week, like the Dynamite right before this really fucking sold it for me, you know. And then we got to the match, and I gotta say, as hyped as I was a little. It didn't feel like the blood feud it was supposed to be until the end of the match, like the post match, like the match itself just felt very. Let's do this spot. Like, here's the cool. We're gonna do each other's finishers, and then Edge wins with a spear, and then. At the end, you get Beth with the return and everything, and then you get FTR going after Beth, and it's like, okay, now the blood feud, we want to kill each other thing is back. But during the match, it didn't have that kind of like, we're gonna fucking destroy each other. It was just kind of like, let's do some WWF wrestling.
Yeah, I didn't get quite that feeling from it because I thought that they set the table for it as like who's the best team of all time almost, you know what I mean? Where it was like, yeah, we hate each other, but also there's this like score we got to settle about like who's the better team. And so like, to me, it didn't, I get what you're saying. Like, it didn't feel like a blood feud during the match for sure. But I didn't think it was just like move. It felt like, you know, there's like obviously like personal animosity there. I just felt like at the end it became like a lot more personal, you know.
It was like they didn't fully commit.
That's what it felt like to me, I guess, is kind of what Professor was saying. Like, the match didn't have the same energy that the weeks going into it had. Like, you had these, like, the weeks going into the match, it was like, these guys can't wait to get their hands on each other and beat the fuck out of each other. And then you get to the match, and it was just like, here's an execution, here's an impaler. We're going to do each other's move.
We're going to do John Cena's moves.
We're going to do John Cena's move set.
Better than John Cena.
Yeah. Well, and I would argue that was a better tribute to John Cena than WWE's been doing. You know,
I would say
like a nice little tip of the hat, shall we say.
But yeah, I think it felt lopsided to how it was built, I guess is the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Is that they built it up one way, and the match felt very different than how the emotions felt building into it.
Right.
But then when the match was over, then it went to where the emotions had been. You know what I mean?
I think once Beth showed up, there was just like a different gear that everything kicked into. That was so unexpected. And such a great move by Tony, like kind of like a low-key coup to pull like on the same day as AJ Lee's making her re-debut in WWE. Like, to have Beth completely unannounced, you know, show up, you know, WWE's promised all these surprises and all this stuff. There were no surprises, but on this show, there was so many, and it was a lot of fun. And Beth looks great. I mean, just looks incredible. Loved her eye makeup and all that stuff, and just kind of the you know, tribute to the old days, but also like a big step forward as well. And then after the match, when she comes back, I really liked what they did with her and Cope, which is like he's handcuffed, you know, to the ring rope. FTR is going to beat him down, and then she gets in front of him and she kisses him, and then she just starts swinging.
And what did she say to him? Did she tell him to look away, or did she say, I'm sorry? I can't remember.
No, she said, I love you.
Yeah, is that all it was? Okay. And did you catch Shivani on commentary the whole time? When she came back and he kept saying, look at this moment. What a moment. He must have said moment like 6 times. And she came out there. And so that's badass, first of all, that she comes back. Edge is wearing his old tights, or Copeland is wearing his old Edge tights from back in the day. He's doing all the little WWE tributes and whatnot. They bust the Spanish announce table. Yeah, I mean, like, again, and none of it was forced. There were just these little winks in there. I mean, obviously, you could see it. It's not like it was hidden, but it wasn't like this big thing except for him saying that. Thought it was really cool. I like seeing her kick the shit out of both members of FTR too, which was nice.
I thought the return was cool and everything, but again, like I kind of am like, okay, so does this mean this feud's just going to keep going now? Because I think
so.
I think if the match would have just been like, okay, Edge and Christian won,
Right.
like time to move on, like that would have been better for me, I think.
Maybe. Well, it might also be like one thing I caught. To me, this was the moment was after they gave her like the spike pile driver. Dax slithered backwards out of the ring, and he looked like he's making eye contact with Copeland. And it was like, I love FTR when the bell rings. I think it's easy for me to get bored with FTR sometimes because nothing ever changes, and that's not taking anything away from their talent. They're fucking amazing. I think adding Stoke was a good thing.
Yes.
But like, you remember like months ago, maybe even a year ago, there was one night on Collision when FTR wore pants. They wore long tights.
Yeah.
That was the most excited I've been for FTR in a long time. And again, that's not taking anything away from them. I don't know what you do when your gimmick is old school. I don't know how you keep that fresh and new, but I will say that sinister ass look that Dax gave Copeland, they just shifted it into a new gear. This isn't the old FTR anymore. That's the impression I got. That like,
Yeah.
You thought we were badasses before? No, we actually weren't. Now we're way more badass than we used to be. And that was exciting.
They're unhinged.
No, it was. I think I'm just ready for like both, you know, Cope and Christian and FTR to do something different, because we've been doing this since fucking Revolution, like before Revolution,
because they're always injured.
Like, like we've been doing this angle for quite a while now, basically the whole year. And I think I'm getting to the point where I'm like, all right, like I want them to do something different.
Right.
Like,
yeah, but I think you would have sold, like, if to do it your way, like, in my opinion, it would have sold it really short, though, because this is one match. They finally got to a match. And if they just wrap it up, like, they're clearly intending to, like, do some kind of series here that's going to get
tables, ladders, and
progressively
chairs,
more
right?
intense. Well, I
do
mean,
you think those guys can still do
I
it?
guess I'm just not stoked for this series, is what I'm saying.
Maybe if FTR was
I just feel very differently. I actually thought it was really good, and I thought that FTR are getting a chance to be like real dicks.
Yeah,
and I really enjoy them as assholes.
The match was a lot of fun. I'll say the match was a lot of fun, but when I'm coming at it from a story perspective, I was just kind of like, well, that felt not like what's been happening.
Right, but that's why they did the shit at the end, is to like ratchet it up so that the next one does feel like more.
And I'm like Mama Bear in the middle, where I'm right. Was Mama Bear just right? You guys have two sides, and I'm in the middle. I liked it. I didn't love it.
Well, you're both wrong.
It's not the first time. But then, also, Nick Wayne came out in a wheelchair.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
That was during this match, was it not? Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick Wayne,
Skip Sabian was the one that did the handcuffs.
Yeah, he came out as a diversion, kind of.
Yeah.
That's what distracted Copeland and Christian long enough for
Well,
FTR
when
to get
masterminds come out in a wheelchair, which we discussed on an old episode of The Hard Way about Bret Hart.
Yes, I like
the wheelchair gimmick is rad.
Well, and the wheelchair thing feels so dramatic for a guy who broke his foot. You know, it's like I've had a fractured foot before. I was never in a wheelchair. So like
he probably just needs a boot. You know?
He probably just needs a boot. And it's probably pretty significantly far along. Like
I just hope they do the Kevin Nash spot later with it.
Yeah,
but it's not like this giant dude getting out of the wheelchair. It's just fucking Nick Wayne.
Right. That's awesome.
Well, the other thing that I thought was interesting is like there was the tease when this first went down that Nick and Kip might have been involved with FTR.
Right.
And then they weren't. And then this time it kind of like put that back out there. And I'm like, I wonder what's going on here. It was a match that I'm sure the fans in the arena really enjoyed, and everyone else enjoyed. You assholes!
You could tell the fans enjoyed it because they were loud, dude.
They were loud. They were having a good time.
It definitely got the crowd hyped up.
Yes, they were having a good time. So from that,
Is that your wife?
That is my wife. She doesn't want to come in though.
Oh,
Her hair's all wet.
Oh,
I don't know where they are, dude.
just call your wife dude.
Yeah, listen. So I call my wife dude all the time, and she's like, "Don't call me dude." She's like, "Don't call me dude." Like I'm a girl, and I'm like, "Well, I call girls dudes. It's fine." She's like, "Well, how many dudes have you fucked?" And I was like, "Oh, I won't call you dude anymore."
well, that got to the heart of the matter, didn't it? Yeah.
She asks you that question and then gets 4 as an answer back.
I know, right? She's like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
How many dudes have you fucked? 4.
4.
Actually, that did happen to a friend of mine one time, but I'll tell you that story another time.
Wow. Okay. So we go from having, kind of the return of a long lost tag team to the return of one Mad King.
Yeah.
Eddie!
And that was the match that honestly, once they got in the ring, just diminishing returns the whole way through for me.
Yep.
I love Eddie. He was going to be rusty. I don't think Big Bill's necessarily the guy you want a rusty guy working with first.
No.
It was fine.
That was my, and not to say anything negative about Big Bill. I think Bill's great, but this one was weird for me going into it too, because I was like, well, that doesn't feel like, I don't know, I thought they would have done something a little bigger for Eddie, made it more of a surprise and not just like, well, Eddie's coming back,
Yeah, had him,
or maybe had him like in a bigger feud or something going into it. And then we get to the match, and I was fucking so excited seeing Eddie come out wearing the Dusty Sucks Eggs or the Claudio Sucks Eggs shirt. I was fucking rip-roaring, and then it just felt like they couldn't get anything really going.
No. I don't even think the finish, didn't he totally fuck up the finisher too?
I think Big Bill might have passed out or been knocked silly for a minute.
Well, if you watch it in slow motion, if you actually watch it, like Eddie does hit him in the back of the head with a slap. It's just the camera. I think if they would have had any other camera angle, it would have looked so much better.
It looked like he totally missed him.
That's what I thought.
From what I saw.
It didn't help that on commentary, everyone was like, a glancing blow.
Well, because they all saw what we saw, and they're watching their monitor, So, they are just like, he missed. Oh, shit.
But I will add, Eddie Kingston has never been Bret Hart in the ring.
Right.
He's never been a Dean Malenko. He's a storyteller.
Right.
And there were moments where Big Bill caught him with a boot, and the way he crumples, and his head rolls to the side. Like, a good Eddie match isn't toe holds and arm bars. A good Eddie match is emotion. And for the most part, the emotion of him coming back was so strong, it still kind of carried it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and it wasn't a very long match either. It was 7.5 minutes long.
Shortest match on the card.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like...
Which should have been.
It was. Yeah. I think that Eddie is one of those guys, he's a great wrestler, but you're not going to put him into like a 30-minute epic, right out of the gate. And I also think they might have planned on him coming back sooner than he did. I think there were storyline spots that looked like they were made for him that they couldn't execute, that involved the Death Riders and stuff at various points.
Because I remember when the Death Rider stuff really started kicking around December, January, Eddie had started posting some kind of cryptic stuff on social media that seemed to be hinting that maybe he was pulling some strings or would be the one to take down Mox.
Yep.
And then it just kind of stopped.
And then it just stopped. So I think there was a plan with Eddie that couldn't be executed because of the timeline of when he actually got cleared and all of that. So, I maybe just having him start slow and with a different development that came about was it at the end of this match? Where,
Hook,
after the match that Eddie starts getting beat up or something?
Yeah, Brian Keith starts laying some wood, and then we get the Hook signal.
Yeah, so we get the Hook signal, and Hook had implied, like, it's time for me to be on my own, or maybe not. And I took that as, like, are they going to turn Hook heel? Because, like, I'm not sure I want Hook as a heel.
Right.
Putting him with Eddie, if you have to take this guy away from being mentored by Samoa Joe, Eddie Kingston's the absolute next best thing you can
100%.
do.
Well, and it's great. It's great in the aesthetic sense as well, because they both kind of have that street kid from New York,
right,
kind of vibe to them. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, and so much of wrestling is kind of treading water, being in a placeholder position. And if you're gonna put Eddie in a placeholder position, maybe he's not 100% or just whatever reason, you got to shake off the ring rust. Hook is like, that's great. There you go. Because what else are you doing with Hook?
Yeah. Well, and two dudes from New York. I think if anything, Eddie's a better fit for Hook than Joe. So,
yeah, I would love to see what they were kind of doing with Joe and Hook and those kind of comedy, like mentor,
the Pulp Fiction kind of setup.
Like, do that with Eddie and Hook, and you've got good TV right there. Yeah. Jesus Christ, especially with how good Eddie is on a microphone. Like, my God, I'm already creaming. Already gushing. Call me I'm like a goddamn Twinkie over here. Just full of cream. Ready to burst.
Well, we've done it now. All right. So
I love me some Eddie fucking Kingston.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing.
Creaming over the weakest match on the show.
King of the fucking moms.
That's how good the pay-per-view was, though. I mean, there were how many matches with a match of the night,
Well, yes, and at a certain point, the show hits a whole new level. So
I think the next match was my match of the night.
So the next match is the Tables and Tacks match with Mark Briscoe and MJF. And
it must be said that the night before, the match was at like 1 a.m. Eastern time. MJF was in a fucking massacre of a match against Mystico in CMLL. If you haven't seen it, please go do it. It was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And then mere hours later, he goes and puts on another goddamn classic with Mark Briscoe. And I mean, I feel like you could say like Tables and Tacks, like how are you going to make that exciting? Like Jesus Christ, they did.
No.
Like holy fuck, this match
a
blew
bunch
me
of
away.
Power bombs. That's how.
Well, it was very like FMW coded to me, where it was very like Onita, where it's like, hey, we're not going to do a bunch of psychology about how we reveal the Tacks. We're just going to dump them all over the mat to start.
And that was perfect because it gave MJF the chance to kind of play that like chicken shit. Like he had been talking all up going into this match. Like, I'm going to fucking rip your hat off. I'm the goddamn, you don't want me. And then he gets there and he's like, that's a lot of Tacks. Holy, maybe I don't want to do this. And Briscoe's just like, nah, motherfucker, we're doing it. Let's go, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah. I know. He is like a dude with a salt shaker with
fucking 14 kids to feed, baby. Let's do it.
Right? And then MJF coming out in those like evening gown, like elbow high gloves. Just awesome.
How often do you get to see a ref in PPE too? That's
right.
Great. Goddamn gardening clothes on.
And then
I love fucking. Oh my God, Briscoe when he's just dumping all these taxes like the fucking the influencers with their Dano seasoning on TikTok. Like you gotta put it all on there.
Yeah. And MJF really dominates the early goings of this match. I mean, it's a long time before Briscoe really mounts any sustained offense. So Briscoe just gets dumped onto Tacks like over and over and over again.
Motherfucker had him in the back of his head.
Yeah. And not even 5 minutes in the match, very wisely, MJF does the where he gets his legs wrapped around Briscoe's head. So the whole rest of the match, just bloody crotch the whole time.
MJF had heavy flow.
What a visual. That's so great.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was great because you get slammed. We see wrestlers get slammed onto tacks all the time. Mm-hmm. But how often do you see their head pushed into it?
I think it was just today I was talking to a buddy of mine, and the first thing he said was, so how the fuck did he get thumbtacks in his dick? And how was he bleeding? Like that's going to draw people to rewatch this over the years.
For sure.
That visual.
For Mark Briscoe as a dude with the buzziest buzz cut ever, he's barely got any hair on his head, to have thumbtacks sticking out of the back of your head.
I
have never seen that before in all my years of watching this crap and watching plenty of hardcore matches. I have never seen a bald dude with tacks sticking out of his head. It reminded me of an Attitude Era poster that they made, and it's of the back of Stone Cold's head, and it's kind of like Hellraiser, where he's got pins coming out of his head. Yeah. It was seeing that in real life. It was like, whoa.
And I will say, Briscoe, not to get ahead, Briscoe, to finish the match, it was so good. They had the ring was just covered in tacks, right? And Briscoe hits the froggy bow on top of the table. And when MJF goes through the table, you have table bits flying and thumbtacks just flying everywhere. It was so
like a
cool.
Cartoon kaboom.
Exactly. It looked like an explosion. Yeah. It was so fucking cool. Then he hits that J Driller on the fucking tacks. God damn it. This match got me going. I was fucking... Ooh, I was hooting. I was hooting.
Danielson was... This is where, so I have a theory that Danielson either took some edibles or just straight up took fucking acid at the beginning of this pay-per-view, because by the end of it, he is getting excited. But in this match, he's calling out the working people of the world, the builders, the nurses, the truck drivers, and we'll get to where he gets later on. But the enthusiasm that he showed throughout this pay-per-view was wonderful.
It was so nice having him on commentary throughout the night. He was a welcome fucking voice all night.
He's a fucking mark. He's awesome. At the end of the day, he is just he is a wrestling fan. He really is. And yes, we will get into it, but at the end of the show where he's standing and screaming and and him and Don Callis having their wars of the words at various times throughout the night. Danielson, it was just great having him out there.
Between him and Taz all night, I was fucking dying. Taz was just pissed off all night.
It's Taz seemed I don't know. I was like, is Taz grumpy? Or is he working?
He did get me during the fucking tag match when he goes, if he rips his mask off, I'm ripping Excalibur's mask off.
Please don't.
What is it later on? Danielson says something about I think Riho did the CEO dance a little better than Mercedes. Well, I didn't, all right? It's holy shit. Love it.
Damn, that CEO gear was...
It
was extra, just Mercedes Moné is a beautiful woman, but that was wow.
Just make me look like I'm naked with a little bit of glitter.
My God.
You don't often see red and leopard print together, and she pulls it off.
Mm-hmm.
That woman... was hypnotizing me throughout that entire match. I was just
that's the dance. The dance hypnotizes
I'm
you,
in some kind of fantasy world.
Was that
right
the
now.
next match? I don't remember.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
The next thing was Jerry Lynn and the Acclaimed backstage, which I think is a nice little development.
Yeah, you know what? I love that Jerry Lynn went from badass rocker dude to just Midwestern dad.
Yeah.
He looks like he would be right at home at a college football game. That's my son. He's the quarterback.
Totally.
I'm telling you, when
got
he
a Slayer shirt in his closet,
when he ripped his shirt off at the ECW arena, and he looked like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry going full thirst trap on the fucking Dynamite. I was like, because he had done a angle with who was trying to goad him into wrestling them, and he had a RVD wrestle for him instead.
Right.
I don't remember.
He can't wrestle, right?
Because he said I've had so many injuries that like there's no way I can wrestle you. And so he had RVD wrestle this person instead. I can't remember who it is right now. But he did some spots during, that brawl that they had at the 2300 arena. And he looks like a dude who's like getting ready to do something. Like, why stay in that kind of shape if you're not going to wrestle? So I don't know what's going on with Jerry. I like Jerry with the Acclaim, though. I like that as a change from Billy Gunn. I think there's nowhere else for that to go. There's just nowhere else for that to go.
Jerry Lynn and Max versus fucking Billy and Bowens.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
That could be fun. But guys, we are getting closer to the Ashamed. And that's what I'm excited for. I had called out quite a while ago, get them back together, call them the Ashamed, and have them be heels. And, there's a slim possibility that could happen. But the next actual match.
Yeah.
Was The Demand. Ricochet, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan versus
matching coats.
The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP. I thought that the ending was very telegraphed just when the match was announced.
Sure.
But it didn't really matter. I loved the way they made Gates of Agony look in this. These guys have been one of my favorites for a long time. They've been a team that people who listen to Sit Down, Shut Up have heard me say over and over again. I would make these guys my road warriors. They would be my just nasty fucking killer tag team that would just kill everybody. But they're going a different route, and having them square up and look like they belong with Bobby and Shelton, that is a huge boost to these guys.
Kwan is a fucking man.
My God. Yeah.
Dude.
Khan he looks like a fucking supermodel for one. He's got like a 14 pack. I don't even know that we have those many abdominal muscles.
Abdominal?
No,
abdominal.
He looks like an action figure. Like
he does.
Yeah.
He does. Like if people are into Roman Reigns, show them Bishop Khan.
I know it's like Roman Reigns is like what is it? People always say like the Temu version. That's like the shitty version. It's like Roman is the shitty version of Bishop Khan, and Bishop Khan's not the original.
Right. I know. It was like Temu made an original, and somebody is like, what if we actually put better parts in this?
Yeah.
And
that match that I always want to say Tia Leone, like the actress, whatever her name is.
Yes.
That's the only downfall of that dude's name. But he had a match with Lashley, like, was it last week? And it was
he had a
really
singles
good.
match.
And then
they fucking tore the house down on that Dynamite match. Jesus Christ.
This one was the same thing, but you had the other guys in there. Ricochet gets his ass beat so well. The Hurt Syndicate is just no fucking nonsense, no frills, no nothing. We just fucking beat your ass.
Yep.
And then MVP got pinned, right? Because he's an old man.
I did
MVP
like Ricochet squaring up with the chest.
Yeah, he tried to like pump out his shoulders against Lashley. He tried to look bigger. That was fucking hilarious.
He's like, and Lashley's just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. Ricochet, guys, like, what a revelation this guy has been this year.
Jesus.
I almost forget that he's like one of the most influential workers of the century, really. Like his style has
new.
His style has his indie wrestling style has influenced so many people. Like him, AJ Styles, like Kenta.
Well, that match
Danielson.
that one match he had with Ospreay is like on a lot of people's list of greatest matches ever. Like
Right. And I actually got to see them do the triple threat last year at WrestleDream. It was that when Takeshita won the international title. It was Takeshita, Ricochet, and Ospreay. And, you forget this dude can do so much stuff because his character is so fucking entertaining. And so when he gets in and he starts like doing the shoulder thing with Lashley, later in the match when he does that thing where he runs to the corner and he just flips over the turnbuckle from the ground
Beautiful.
to the outside, gets massive height. Like, you're like, oh, you forget that he does stuff like that because you're actually just used to his character.
Yeah.
Which is such a departure from what he was in WWE. Like in WWE, it was almost like he wasn't a character at all. He was just, here's Ricochet. He's the guy that flips. And that was all he was allowed to do. And then he comes to AEW and he's the best fucking heel like in the company right now. Like one of the top heels in the company. And he's fucking hilarious.
They pushed him down. They kept him down for so long when he was coming. I mean, I think everybody was excited when he was coming to AEW, but it was like, oh, this is like the end of Ricochet. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just didn't know what to expect. Like, you didn't think you were going to get this fucking, like you said, they just revitalized, brand new, feels like a brand new dude that's just getting pushed for the first time. Like, we've never seen him, but then
he's getting a chance to do more than just like be amazing in the ring. He's getting a chance to actually be a character. He's getting a chance to show that he can do promos. He can do the spots comedy that aren't. He can do the other shit wrestlers are supposed to do. He's not just. You know, WWE, it almost felt like he was that guy that like, well, the little kids love him because he does a bunch of flips. So that's kind of what we're just going to have him do is be the kind of Rey Mysterio type.
Yeah. If I was Tony Khan and I wanted to try to get guys to come, if I was trying to sell you on why you should work for my company, Ricochet would be the example.
Yeah, exactly.
That would just be it. Like, well, you could
1,000%.
Well, and that's the thing is like, I was like, AEW makes sense for his wrestling style. That's great. That's awesome. And then to see how much humility he has as a human being, where like, I remember this promo that launched this entire thing where they punked him and they took his card away and tore it up and sent him to the back. And he was like, oh, I'll get at you later. I remember Brian Alvarez, who I find to be unlistenable and ridiculous, said that they just buried Ricochet. Why would you do that? His career is over. And it's like, no, you were really, really wrong, Brian, because it was the beginning of his career. They made his career because he had the humility to be a chicken shit asshole nerd heel.
And he's so smart too in ring because you get a lot of spots where like someone will send him flying and he's got that like this freak, you know what I mean? Like
no, that was right after he did the squaring up with the shoulders, and then he gets backdropped and you hear him go like
it's so good. It's so good. Whatever he tapped into for this run is incredible. Fucking bravo, Ricochet.
Yeah. No, you really for it. You really feel like there's just been this person inside of this guy this whole time. He's turned the word Trevor into a slur almost. Like it's just like nobody wants to be a Trevor, Right?
Well, now he got the scissors over as his kind of thing. Like I'll say AEW when they started really turning the ship to what it is now, to being as hot as it is now, he was like part of that.
Yeah, he was.
He had come in right before that kind of like that ship turned, and part of it for me at least was him, and have the stuff he did with Swerve and everything. That was when AEW really started like, okay, they're starting to fucking get their shit going again. Like, here we go.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's just been a breath of fresh air. And speaking of breath of fresh air, we got Rio, who I had no idea was so polarizing until recently.
If you don't like Rio, fuck you.
You're saying that to some of our good friends.
I know.
Don't like Rio.
I love you guys, but
here's the thing, man. Professional wrestling is a place where many different body types can thrive. You can have Bishop Calm with a 14 pack, and you can also have What? Quan?
Quan.
It's Khan.
I thought it was Khan. I thought it was like more like Khan, like Wrath of
It's
Khan.
spelled Quan, but it's pronounced Khan.
Is it?
Well, so anyway, you can have that dude.
I thought it was
who
Quan.
is like cut out of rock, or you can have fucking Abdullah the Butcher with, we know what Abdullah looks like.
Them
I
big
mean,
old titties.
all the way around to his back, like
just
wings
mashed,
that are under his
mashed
arms.
potato incarnate.
Right. So if wrestling can have all these different types of body types, shut the fuck up about Riho, dude. She's fine. She's little. Oh well.
Well, this match showed you what makes Rio so good. It's because like she's fast, she's fucking flying all over the place, but she's also great at technical wrestling. Like the big story of this match was she kept trying to see how am I going to get this fucking single leg crab to Mercedes, and is that going to be what I need to do this? You know?
I will grant that some of her impact, like her punches and like when she connects, it doesn't look like there's a lot of impact. Maybe she can work on that. That's the only thing that I would say is like
and
I think you should work on fucking yourself.
Well, and no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like I kind of get that. Like I get it, but like, and maybe I would. But yeah, like shut the fuck up. Riho's cool. And yeah, the whole thing of like she's this little lady and she's putting you in these holds and she's twisting her way out of holds and like yeah, I thought this was it was my favorite Riho match. I'll say that. You know,
it was mine too.
Sure.
I would say as well. When do you get to see Mercedes be the bigger wrestler in a match?
Yes, she
never happens.
Yes,
I will say, somebody that we know and love said, "Oh, this is the best Rio match, and it's mostly due to Mercedes," which I think is bullshit. Yeah. I think they were both great. Rio did look rusty a week before on her first match, that tag match with Emi Sakura, and that single leg crab she put on Emi didn't look that like you're going to tap out because of that. But like when she grabbed Mercedes' leg and then she just went straight backwards, that was
Jesus.
Yeah. Mercedes understood how to work with the size thing really, really well. And I thought they have great in-ring compatibility. And I would honestly love to see a series between the two of them.
I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
But the CEO gets the win. She is in the most... Yeah, she was basically... looked naked while she was wrestling, kind of, and
coming up on
awesome.
Beating Jade Cargill's record.
Right? Yes, please beat that fucking record and be done with it. Because something very important happened later in the show that is so important that needed to happen, and Mercedes is next. So we're on our way there, but Mercedes does get the win. She beats Rio, and we knew she was going to be Rio. So they went for 16 minutes though. They got some good time. So that was a really good match, and great outing from Rio. Great to see her back kind of at the top of her game looking.
My only thing is like, I hope she's going to be featured more consistently this time, because that's the thing with Rio that I think is she comes in and then she leaves, and I think that's why a lot of people kind of like don't have a great opinion of her because they don't get to see much of her. But like I don't know, everything I see of Rio, I'm like, I get it, I love her.
Like they can't get past that initial like, hold on, I got to figure this out. Because she's very stop start. She just shows up and I agree.
Well, and working American television that's like a style. Like you have to do that just as much as you like it's the same as like learning how to wrestle. Like you have to learn how to wrestle an 8-minute match on Dynamite. That's with commercial break, or whatever. Like that's a style too. And so Rio, because of the start stop, I think hasn't, my only thought of like what. Yeah, maybe she hasn't fully acclimated to wrestling on television and doesn't know how to lay a match out for television yet because she hasn't been consistent. Shida is another wrestler who spends long periods of time gone, comes back, gone, long periods of time, comes back, and everybody's always excited when she comes back. I think she's kind of more universally beloved, but at the same time, Shida would have more meaningful, like, career arc if she was there more frequently, you know. I know this last time it was because of a visa, but she also has a lot of side projects, acting, modeling, doing, you know, cosplay, all this other stuff she does. So,
well, I think a big part of wrestling too, whether people kind of like admit it or not, is it's like your character and how much people buy into you as a character is just as important as what you do in the ring. And so if Rio's not getting a chance to really bond with an audience, like, you know, people who might love her once they get to know her personality and everything haven't gotten that yet, you know?
Right. Well, and you could say, look at Nyla Rose. You know, she hasn't been on TV in God knows how long, and everybody wants her back because she's bonded with the audience so deeply. And
she's funny as hell, dude.
She's funny as hell, and we all love her. And so we want to see her back on TV. And for me, like, Nyla's a good wrestler, but like, I just think Nyla deserves a shot to be more than she's been. Yeah. You know, and it's partly just because of how great she is at just making me feel like I know her.
Her online presence is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like,
and also because trans rights, motherfuckers.
That's right. That's right. Was there like a backstage segment or anything before this next match?
I don't think so. I don't have anything in my notes about it. The next match was the three-way. The fucking three-way.
So, up till now, this has been a very fun show. Like, very fun show. Where it goes from here is batshit crazy, insane, psycho, fucking holy goddamn shit balls Batman. This match and the main event particularly, but every match that follows this is fucking unbelievable. AEW just can do this shit where it's like, we're about to give you 2 straight hours mostly of wrestling, and you are going to lose your goddamn mind. And
shout the fuck out, Mascara Dorada.
Dude.
Jesus.
This match was a perfect way to play with people's expectations, okay?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, because you know you're going to get Takeshita versus Okada in a one-on-one, and hopefully with Takeshita taking that title away. But you don't want to give that match away right off the bat, and especially not in the 3-way. And so the best way to keep those two separate from each other for most of the match, have Mascara Dorada go out there and put on a goddamn show. Holy fuck. And then it gives you, you know, it doesn't make him look bad taking the pin because he's been the whole match. He's getting tired out by both guys because he's carrying the match, you know? And oh God, did he? Oh God, did he?
He's the pinball bouncing off of the two of them. He actually made it.
Sometimes, I want him on TV every week in a match.
Sometimes 3-way dances can get to where it's like, or triple threat, whatever you want to call it. It's like, first I fight this guy, now I fight this guy, now I trade. And it never got that. There was a point to it having 3 guys because all 3 were involved with each other because he was the glue. He was the string tying it all together. That guy was fucking insane. And yeah, his gear, not a lot of people pull off brown and gold like that. And he looked cool as hell. So
he did.
Give him that too.
I knew when he was fighting Mordos on Dynamite, because I wanted Mordos to be in this match, but I knew they were basically fighting over who's going to lose in the triple threat, right? And, you know, they're not going to have Takeshita right before he goes and challenges for the IWGP title lose. And Okada's not dropping this title, and he's not taking a pin before the exact right time. So Okada's winning this match most likely. And despite that, I gotta say, I feel like Kazuchika Okada just the last since maybe the beginning of the summer has hit his stride really hard in AEW, where he feels like he's an American wrestler now. Like, he's obviously a Japanese wrestler, and he's a legend. I mean, he's like on that Inoki kind of level. But this is maybe the most pre-planned, choreographed looking kind of match I've seen him ever do. He was great. I mean, the spots they did in this match, especially with Dorada because he's so versatile. Like when I loved the spot where Dorado was trying to German Okada. Okada grabs on, or wait. Yeah, okay, sorry. Takeshita grabs Dorada. Dorada grabs Okada. Or Okada, I'm sorry. Takeshita grabs Okada.
Dorada should
Okada
be the name of their tag team, though.
Yes.
Dorado Okada.
And Okada grabs Dorada. And then they do that big suplex spot where everybody goes over. But Dorada goes so far over that he lands on his feet. And Okada lands on his fucking head. There were so many great spots like that. I loved the story that they're telling as where, Takeshita's trying to show Okada, that he's the senpai now and he's not your young boy anymore. And Okada, has no respect for Takeshita, but you can see that he's kind of scared of him too. And
he knows.
And everybody knows. And I'll tell you what really made this match was Danielson and Callis on commentary.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yes,
Callis
dude.
showed his range.
I actually have that in my notes.
Yeah. Like Callis really showed his range in this one. We're used to Don Callis being the over the top sociopathic asshole, right? But Callis really plays the guy in denial during this match where he's like, no, it's just an athletic competition. All the guys have it with each other.
Yeah.
And Takeshita's the alpha, but Okada's, the best. And Danielson goes, well, there can only be one best, Don.
Yeah.
And Don's like, he's trying to portray this as friendly competition, but he's watching them get angrier at each other as the match goes along. And you're watching him kind of fall apart a little bit. And I thought that really added some layers to this. And Danielson just kind of punching holes through Don's denial over and over and over again. It really added something to this match. It was really good.
Well, and I think it was the last pay-per-view where they were on together and somebody was cheating and Callis looks over and he's like, well, come on, you would agree with that, right? And Daniel says, oh yeah, sure. Like they both are coming at it from this learned wrestler with so much experience. But like you said, Danielson just poked holes. It's like, no, dude, like you can't look at him for advice 1 minute and then act like he's not going to give you advice the next minute. They really played off each other well. It's great.
They did. No,
Dorada hit an electric chair neck breaker.
Did that too.
It was wild. He did a double Frankensteiner off the top rope.
Yeah.
All three dudes on the very tippy top rope. Dorada hits a double Hurricane Rana Frankensteiner, whatever you want to call it, with two dudes who are both like 6'4". Like that's nuts. That is just batshit crazy shit. You just don't see that.
This is probably my match of the night, I think.
It's this or Hangman and Fletcher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really hard to say which one is, because they're so different, but this and that are they're the top two. But after this match, I was like, Jesus Christ, like the show just hit a new level.
Okada won.
Yes, Okada wins, and I like the finish. It was really, really well done. I literally visualized exactly how this was going to end, which was that Takeshita would kind of secure the win, and Okada would just throw him out of the ring, basically, and steal it from him. And that's more or less what they did. I mean, he did hit him with a Rainmaker as well. But, if you're not excited to see an all-out singles match between Takeshita and Okada, I don't know
it's probably the AEW match I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah.
Like,
especially after this match.
Yes.
Like,
God.
Now that I've had a taste, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
We're entering the big take era, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
big,
time.
Sexy take.
It's talk and it's Bandito, baby. It's their time.
Bandito's my wrestler of the year.
He's my wrestler of the year as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
We then move on to a totally different change of pace. And I thought it was very good programming to put this here. We have a coffin match. Now, Can I ask you, and I literally don't know an answer, so this is a legit question. Is there a difference between a casket and a coffin?
I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, I think, but I don't know what the difference is.
That's a good
everyone
question.
Everyone else seems to.
Let me look it up online right now, because now I've got to know.
I am as well.
Casket, coffin, difference.
Oh, wow. I typed like a complete sentence.
A coffin is a 6-sided tapered box shaped like a human body, while a casket is a 4-sided rectangular box. Oh, okay. I get it.
Okay, so it was a coffin match.
No, it's a cat. Yeah, wait, no.
Which is weird because I would associate caskets with Darby Allin.
It was a casket match.
What did they call it?
They called it a coffin match, but used
it was actually a
caskets.
casket.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was. They did use
the
caskets.
6-sided?
Yeah.
Okay.
Six-sided is a coffin.
Yeah, they had the 4-sided caskets, but they called it a coffin match because Darby Allin coffin drop.
Oh, yeah. So I never knew the difference. So now I do. Okay. So,
I still don't know the rules to that game we played last week. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to last week's episode of the
Do you think it's called the cough? I was going to make a cough drop joke. I'm not going to.
Oh, boy.
No.
Okay. So it's Darby Allin. It's Jon Moxley. You know crazy shit's going to happen. And during Mox's very much now like very iconic entrance to his Death Rider music, Darby attacks. 30 seconds into the match beginning, Darby has jumped off the railing at the top of one of the entry into the arena spots onto Moxley.
Coffin drop too. Hit the finisher right off the bat.
Yeah. It was a crazy batshit match, as you expected it might be.
Yeah.
I really liked the way Moxley is particularly about Darby.
Yeah.
When he's
they have such good chemistry together.
Well, so the package that they showed before this match where Mox was like, he says something like, Darby Allin's always been something special to me. Then he's like, I love him.
Yeah.
But he looks like he almost like was going to cry. It was a really weird thing where it's like he like it's like a fatherly figure to Darby, like in his own demented world.
I think that's the story there is. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the story I think they're trying to tell. Is because this goes back to when the Death Riders first became a thing. The first one to challenge him was to challenge Mox was Darby.
Right.
And Mox is always about bringing people up. You're supposed to come up to my level. And obviously, Darby will stop at nothing to come up and surpass
if you remember, too, in that first match, it was pretty much just Mox big brother and him kicking his ass. Like, Mox just beat the fuck out of him.
Yep.
And now Darby's starting to come back and he's getting more violent and it's starting to get Mox like, this is what I want.
Gonna cry when Darby beats him.
This is what I want. Yeah. You had a moment in the match where Mox is just like, he's like, it's not anybody else, Darby. It's just you.
Yeah.
It's just you, Darby. I love you.
It was so interesting. That was the most interesting part of the match to me. With all the awesome spots and everything, what I like is under that, because like to me, it's felt like the feud with Mox and Hangman. I saw symbolism in it that maybe not everybody did, but it was like Mox is being that typical toxic male, like you're a pussy essentially because you're always talking about your goddamn feelings and all this stuff. And Hangman's like, I'm strong because I talk about that stuff. And it's like modern masculinity versus toxic masculinity. You know what I mean? But with Darby, Mox, the veil is off. Like Mox has this love and respect for Darby that he doesn't have for like anyone else. And so in that moment, he says, I was hard on everybody, Darby. I was hard on everybody, Darby, but it's different with you. It's different with you. I love you. And then he kisses him and then keeps beating the shit out of him. Very interesting stuff. And at some point, Marina and the Death Riders get involved. And I had just been saying to Joshi a few days before this, it's a real shame they're going to have to end this Death Riders thing without Pac. Because he was such an important part of it.
Whoops. Well, Blade, have I got something for you?
Yeah. We can't describe every crazy thing these guys do to each other. They did so much crazy shit.
There was forks again.
There were forks and ears again, except Darby doing it to Mox this time. Did it look like Mox's blood had glitter in it? It was shiny. It was weirdly shiny.
I don't know.
This is the blood of a vampire, Bella.
Yeah. I mean, really though.
This match had my two favorite announce moments too, where Taz says, Darby Allin's a sick man. He's a sick man. And Bryan Danielson says, is he sick? Or does he just want to feel alive?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. That was good. And then Taz goes, I think he's a sick man.
Yeah. Well, towards the end of the match when Danielson goes, I know I'm supposed to be impartial, but fuck that. Come on, Darby.
and then very quietly you hear Excalibur go, swear jar.
So well, as to what Blade, we're on HBO now, kids. We can say fuck. So as to Blade's being bummed that the Death Riders might have come to an end without Pac, Darby's about to get the win because Danielson had told us that he does love to lie. And though, he didn't technically lie because he didn't get himself involved in the match, but he gave Darby something that would help him out a lot, which was the plastic bag that went over Mox's head this time, which is fantastic because Mox was all covered in blood, so the bag's all covered in blood on the inside.
Looking, man.
Dude, Mox is a cartoon character. His like mannerisms and facial expressions and everything, like that's why he was the only one who could have been hung by Hangman at the end of that match all in, because his just exasperated, like clawing. But anyway, sorry, Darbs. Fucking Pac is back
with a haircut.
With a fucking haircut.
It looks good. He looks better with shorter hair.
And he doesn't. And he was wearing clothes.
Yeah, he was wearing a shirt.
I didn't say he looked better in clothes. Okay, right. I didn't say that.
I liked Pac with the fucking long stringy hair. I thought he looked terrifying.
Just extra. He looks grosser and more terrifying now, I think. But the stringy hair in his face, it was like it gave a cool look. Yeah,
it was cool. It was cool.
It was almost
don't get me wrong. It was cool.
When Taz had the ripped up towel, but instead of a towel, it was his hair, and it was like gross and like it would stick to the side of his head and shit.
It was stringy and wet, and it was just kind of all over the place. And it's like an 80s Metallica cut, like the bassist Jason Newsted used to have that same cut.
Pac with short hair looks like a pauper from back in the medieval times.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm like he belongs in like Lady Hawk or something, you know?
Hey, he's like an extra in Game of Thrones.
Let's wait till we're full gear before we decide, okay? All right? I'm just asking you guys to exert some patience.
Before we decide his haircut?
But before you decide how you feel about the hair. That's,
absolutely. I'll give it time.
Until he's full gear, we don't know. So, Pac just
full gear, not the event full gear,
right? Like
I thought you were hinting at the pay-per-view.
We got WrestleDream next. What the fuck?
Yeah,
well, get a few pay-per-views. See how you like it.
Yeah, no. I'm
walk around the store a little bit
until you see him, in his gear. Yeah, which this is one of the few times he's not in his gear.
I will say, man, I think it would have been a better look if the clothes weren't so big. Like he was swimming in that shirt.
Yeah. I think they were trying to give him some anonymity as he's coming through the audience or whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't going to come in naked, basically.
Right. But
I think it would have been hilarious if he would have came in his gear.
His where he's sitting is like soaked because he's always soaking wet all the time.
Do you remember like during the pandemic, he's like in England talking about coming back, and he's cutting this promo, and he's like out in a park. He's like not in a park, like it's a dark,
like the straight jacket stuff. Wasn't he in a streak? Like,
but he's also in his gear.
Yeah.
And it's like
soaking wet.
And he's soaking wet and he's like out in the rain and he's just in his gear.
I know.
And it just looks like
I fucking love it.
It's great. I love it too. But like that dude is just in his gear and
he's ready to go at any given moment.
Well, I had posed that question to Threads just randomly one day, and the guy who weighed in with the most common sense take was Lance Storm. He said, well, he probably looks most impressive in his gear. And so
certainly
he wears his gear at all times. You know, like
he has 0% body fat.
I love it because it just further made me think that Pac is not a human. He's just a wild animal.
Yeah.
They actually have to
Pac,
like
if he can stay healthy, man. Just stay healthy, bro.
Put his clothes on before the match.
I'm a big mark for Pac, man. I love
Pac.
Yeah.
But he power bombs Darby over the top rope onto a casket that is on the floor. On the outside, Darby's already been dropped on once, so it has a divot in it.
Yep.
And Darby lands squarely on his shoulders. He lands as safely as you can. He is a stunt man. He knows what he's doing, I tell myself. And
stay out of my comments, people. I had some guy last time go off on me for like cheering the announce table spot with Darby. They're like, if you actually cared about Darby, you wouldn't be cheering for this because
fuck off.
He's gonna Owen Hart himself one day. I'm like, he is a grown ass man. I'm a nobody. Me cheering for him is going to have no sway over what he does in that ring.
You love Darby the way I love him.
Yeah, exactly. No, and then Pac basically does everything for Moxley at this point. Just grabs him from the little puddle that he's become and puts him in a body bag and then puts him in the casket. And all Moxley does is just use his foot to close it. Yeah, because Mox can barely move. He's got a ripped plastic bag just hanging over his head. Moxley looks like he's just like a dried piece of shit at this point.
I did love the visual of the Death Riders, almost like pallbearers.
They pallbeared him out of there. That was cool. That was cool.
Taking the casket out.
I liked Mox yelling at the crowd like, he did this to himself. I didn't want any of this. This is all his fault. And like, Mox is losing it. I like that Mox is losing it. Mox makes the same mistake twice. This didn't happen right after the match, but it does happen later in the show, and it's relevant, so we'll just talk about it now. The Death Riders, once again, they have the casket. Darby's in the casket. They're taking the casket away, and Mox, just like he did earlier, goes, no, I got this. Don't worry about it. I can do this alone. Darby kicks out of this body bag, kicks out of this the casket into Mox's face or whatever. Mox is staggering, and Darby somehow manages to body bag Mox, pours gas all over him, and lights him on fire.
Fuck yeah!
And then Darby's like, burn, 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 and then people are like immediately putting the fire out. The cameraman who's filming a murder.
Have you guys ever seen the fantastic Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation?
No.
Oh, God. No. It came out in the 90s, like 1994. It's got Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey. Yeah. And Matthew McConaughey is part of the Leatherface clan. And he is just batshit crazy in it. But there's a part where he lights Renee Zellweger on fire. Or like not one of the other girls in the movie on fire. And he's just screaming, burn! That's all I had going through my head.
Awesome.
They're going to do some kind of crazy step at WrestleDream. But I think...
I can't fucking wait. And I think I kind of love that being the end, though. Because that was where it all started.
That's where it all started.
Yeah.
That's where the Death Riders really became the Death Riders.
That was the death of Danielson, and I think this is going to be the death of Moxley. Yeah. And then I want him to go away for a while and then come back with Wild Thing.
Yep. Mox has really impressed. Like, I was a Mox fan before. I respected Mox. But, whatever. He was never, top shelf. This Death Riders thing.
He's my favorite.
And what he's done after, it's the post Death Rider stuff that's even better to me. The Requiem for the Champ or whatever whatever it is. God damn, dude, that guy's He's on somebody's Mount Rushmore, you know.
Mox is a legend. I think he's made himself.
He's
like his post WWE career has been astounding. There was so much there.
He's my favorite. He's been my favorite.
I know.
There's something about him that has just always been magic to me. Like he's one of those people that I've always like. Whenever I saw him wrestle, even when I didn't love the shit they were doing with like Dean Ambrose, it was like he gets it though.
Yeah,
you know,
like
he is a wrestling fan's wrestler, which is why I don't understand the hate he gets from a lot of people, because like he just gets it. Like to me, he gets it like Terry Funk got it. He gets it like Mick Foley got it. You know what I mean?
Every
like,
aspect
he
of
understands it.
Blade and I were talking about it a while back, where it's just like whether it's his walk, that funny walk he does, the way his body's cut, the pants he wears, he gets it on every level. You're absolutely right. And yeah, even when I haven't been the biggest fan of what he's doing, that guy he's one of those dudes. He's a legend. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's one of those people to me that's like, when he says something, you think he believes it, you know?
Yes.
It doesn't feel like a wrestler cutting a promo. Like, it's not a guy playing, it's not, you know, John Good playing John Moxley. It's fucking John Moxley.
Right.
Like,
right.
He's him.
He's a one of one, like where he's like, just in the same way I think like Kenny Omega, like nobody else can be Kenny Omega. Like nobody else can be John Moxley.
Right.
And what I think is so special about AEW and what they've constructed is that they have the best in the world at the type of wrestling that person does in almost every position. You know what I mean? Where it's like the best high flyer in the world. You can take your pick. Is it Will Ospreay? Is it Bandito? Is it, you know, take your pick. The best technical wrestler in the world. They don't have Zack Sabre Jr., but they're pretty stacked.
Yeah.
You know, and so they, at every different position they have, and then they like best all around. You know, I think Moxley's in that conversation. Takeshita, Bandito again, I think is another guy you got to put in that conversation. But I think, go ahead.
The good thing with Mox, I think that works so well with AEW, you know, because AEW is kind of that hodgepodge of all the best types of wrestling from around the world, kind of presented in a sports entertainment package. And that's Mox to me. Like he's New Japan style. He can wrestle a New Japan match. He can wrestle like the CZW shit he used to do, but he also gets the entertainment side of it.
Big time. Yes.
Yep. But he adds realism and urgency to everything he's involved in. And I think that's where he's really...
It's a total package. Not the total package, but he's a total package.
You'd have to ask Renee about that.
Whoa! So Brett, we go from watching a man die and then watching a man resurrect himself and then burn a man.
Somebody, I wanted to say real quick, somebody said this online, and I don't know who it was, and I don't know where it was, but it was in regards to Darby, and it was just like, if you kill Darby, he comes back more powerful. And literally seems like that's his gimmick. Like, the more you kill him, the stronger he now is in his second life or third life.
The man cut a promo on Mount Everest.
Right?
Yep. On John Moxley of all people.
And did a kickflip.
Yeah.
Yep. So we go from that match to a match I was really interested in. I was thinking to myself, if there's going to be a title change, it's either this match or the tag match. And that was my thought right from the jump. My prediction for the 4-way for the women's world title. A lot of people had said, you know, if Tony Khan wants to protect Toni Storm so bad, she doesn't have to take the pin and can lose the title. And I was kind of astounded by how many people were okay with that idea. I'm like, dude, no. Toni Storm
not
needs
okay with that idea
to be pinned.
Yeah.
I was worried going into this because I didn't want somebody else to get pinned. To me, it's like, why do Toni Storm for this long and then have somebody else get pinned? I thought
if she didn't transfer the heat, what's the point?
Exactly.
Well,
so-
especially going, I mean, you just have to listen to like every promo she's been giving. It's like, I'm looking for my murder.
Right,
Like,
right.
you know, someone has, like, that's not the type of promo you give if you're just going to have, you know, say Tekla pins Statlander or Hater or
Right,
something.
right.
Like, no, no.
But
Yeah,
I thought
so-
I liked the way it ended because, I mean, are we just going to cut right to the end or are we going to talk about the match?
Well, I have a few observations. I mean,
Yeah,
this was not a super long match, and it didn't need to be. Like,
Nope.
it
Right.
was 12 minutes long.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
But there's so much happened in 12
Yeah.
minutes. You know what I mean?
I did love
Jamie
the spot.
Hayter. Jamie Hayter's looking fantastic in the
Mhm.
ring already.
Uh-huh.
I
The British
really,
brute.
yes. Well, and I love the promo package that they did before the
Amazing.
match where Tony's narrating it.
4
and
ways to die.
4 ways to die.
So cool.
Were you expecting someone else?
I did love the spot where fucking Tekla is doing her little spider crawl, and then Tony just runs in. I hate bugs, and just kicks her right in the snatch.
Yep. Gives her a cooch kick.
Oh, Tekla,
Um,
man.
cunt
I mean,
punt.
it's too soon now, but good Lord, I can't wait till that woman ends up with the belt someday.
Tekla.
I
Tekla's so
thought
fucking
Tekla
cool.
could have won it. That was who
I thought there
was-
was an outside chance she might
Yeah.
win.
That was my dark horse win
And the announcers kept talking about how like all the other three have feuded with each other at some point, but Tekla doesn't have any baggage, so she just comes in and kicks ass. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
What?
oh shit, maybe she is gonna win it.
What I thought was very interesting, though, and people have been kind of astounded at this since she started. It started with Aminata and her, but Tekla lays shit in, okay,
Yeah.
and she expects you to do the same, and so
And she's
in
like
a
3 foot tall.
yeah, she's 5'1" in real life. Like,
Yeah.
shoot, I saw her like very close up, and she is very short.
she is
but-
such a badass.
She
Yes, she
holds
is.
herself like a goddamn giant. And
Yeah.
so her and Jamie are trading blows, and Jamie lays them in too. And Danielson goes, well, Jamie has the height advantage. You're not going to win a strike exchange with her. And then Tekla does win the
Yeah.
strike exchange. And Taz is like, I don't know, Brian. Like Tekla's kind of unique. And then she just starts beating the shit.
Which
She-
is awesome because Taz was a little short guy that could fucking
Exactly.
throw. That's
Exactly.
That's cool.
So Tekla outdueled her and Statlander at different times in this match. I thought they have done such a great job of making Tekla seem so legit that I really would have bought it if she won the world title in this match. I could have believed it.
You could have. Yeah.
Yes, but the right person was picked,
Right.
in my opinion.
Yep.
And she still pinned the champ cleanly. No chicanery or tomfoolery, you know?
And I do love, someone had pointed out that like if you're a good AEW fan, you know their little foreshadowing they do that Stat had won that match before the last pay-per-view with a small package. She beat who was it who fought Tony in the last pay-per-view? I forget.
Well, she fought Athena, and Athena tapped out.
Athena, right, yeah. Well, she pinned Athena with a small package, and then Tony beat Athena, which was kind of this cue. Statlander's doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought that
Because Tony's the master of the small package.
Right.
right, the big package is what she calls it.
The
But
big package.
I thought that it was also very cool to see Jamie and Tony have their moments where it's just the two of them in the ring.
Mhm.
There's a story that's going to happen there. So, like, what I've liked about this is at first they kind of portrayed Tony as like, she doesn't remember not being timeless, you know? Like, so she kind of didn't remember what she had done to Jamie Hayter. And now she's like, mask off. Like, she's like, I know what you want, bitch. Like, come get it, you know? And so, like, she doesn't let Hayter patronize her. You know what I mean? It's like, I know you're coming to end me. Like, let's do this, you know? But yeah, when and so right before the match, Wheeler Yuta comes down to his fuck you Yuta chants, and he just whispers in Stat's ear, and she looks disgusted, and then she uses Yuta's seatbelt pin
right?
to secure the win. And I'm watching the count happen, and I'm like, wait, I think she's going to pin her. And they hit 3, and Tony's reaction was me. I was like, what just happened? Like, and Tony is like shocked, and she kind of looks proud, and she kind of looks dismayed, all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I caught that. I thought, like, when you said she looks proud, it's like, there's something else under there. What is that, you know?
Yeah. So she kind of looks happy. Mm-hmm. She's found her murderer. You know, she kind of looks...
She's got her next big story, you know?
Yeah. And I think, you know, Hayter and Tony have a story to tell, but Hayter and Tekla have a story to tell.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of directions they can go from here, but this is the refresh that the women's division needed. Statlander's new music, by the way, I wholeheartely approve of her Kurt Angle theme. And seeing her hold that belt up gave me feelings. I really was like, it feels good. This show really felt like a big shout out to the pandemic era. And a lot of the stars of the pandemic era. And there's one more that we're about to reference. So after this incredible, might have been the highlight of the show for me, with Statlander winning the title, just as far as just a moment, you know? Because I've known since the first time I saw her in AEW, I'm like, oh, she's going to be a world champion for sure.
She's good.
She's real good.
Yeah. And
so watching her achieve this, I think all of us have an investment in Kris Statlander that we felt. So really cool. So moving right along, we got 2 matches left. And you see this match on the, you know, the screen, and you're like, oh my God, how the fuck am I even going to make it through this match? Because it's going to be such a banger and so high impact when you see the people involved. You've got Josh Alexander and Hechicero versus Jet Speed versus the Bucks versus Bro Dito in a ladder match for the AEW tag team titles.
What?
Yeah.
What? I will say I was a little bummed that Jet Speed wasn't matching.
That's true.
Yeah,
they weren't matching.
But that's okay.
It was like,
it was a
call out to
men.
something, though. It was somebody called it. I
Sonic and Tails.
It was Sonic and Tails is what it was. Yeah. So so clearly Kevin Knight was Tails.
Wasn't Speedball still wearing his Speed Racer gear though?
No, he was wearing different gear.
Was he wearing different gear? Oh.
I'm sorry. I just read someone on Threads. Do you guys follow I'm JoJo still?
I don't know.
They talk about wrestling and stuff. Right now, if you're in government, you get to claim outrageous shit. Like pooping with the door open is the leading cause of hearing loss.
That's pretty much what they do.
I mean, it's really something I could imagine RFK saying.
Yes,
at
I
this
could.
Point.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine RFK pulling off some of the move that I saw.
If you poop with the door open, it's the leading cause of hearing loss.
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine RFK.
I do a much better Jesse the Body.
You did a decent RFK.
It's fine.
I mean, you did just fine.
I do a better John.
Jesus Christ.
So that fucking match. I'm sitting
match.
here at my little drawing table, and I'm drawing some little pictures as I'm, watching this match. And
he was watching the match, and he was drawing some pictures.
I was drawing pictures, and every time I looked up at the screen, I said to myself, "Oh my God, this is the best match I've ever seen in my life."
I said to myself, Marilyn, look at what they're doing on the screen. They're doing a wrestle.
But I mean, every fucking thing. There was not one move that wasn't the coolest move you've ever seen.
This is the first time I've ever seen this done, is where Kevin Knight is on the ladder and they just pick up the ladder and carry it and then dump him.
And then just dump him through the tables on the outside. There's way too much that happens in this match to properly describe.
Holy shit!
You can't do when
Brody
you have like a
pile driving fucking speedball on the ladder.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
Like when
Did you see how that
see,
ladder bent?
you see the Mick Foley coming off the top of the Hell in a Cell, and you've seen it probably 100,000 times because it's this moment, and there was like 8 of those in this match.
Yeah.
Like, it was constantly Bandito doing the fucking moonsault with a ladder. And did you guys see anything online? Apparently.
Did you see the thing I shared in the Discord?
Was it you? Okay.
Brody talking about, like, he's like, you're going to give me the ladder. And then he gives him the ladder.
Yeah.
And then he goes, this is going to be fucking awesome.
Backflips. Right?
That's so Bandito, dude. It's just.
That's so cool.
But
I also love the spot where the Bucks are telling Josh and Hechicero to set jet speed up on the tables outside. They're like, we're gonna jump off and go through them. And then so while Josh and Hechicero are setting them up, they just run to the ladder.
Yeah, exactly. That was great. That was great because as a fan, I'm having that moment of like, why wouldn't you just climb the ladder right now?
Yeah,
then they had that same moment. Like it was.
That's the shit I love about the Bucks, man.
The Bucks can assemble these multi-tag matches in a way that I've never seen before. They are the masters at it. Yep. Nobody does it like they do. But my spot of this match is that Brody pile driver onto Speedball because the ladder
that was awesome.
Bends in the middle and it looks like it falls to where it almost touches the ground and then comes back up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck was that? I feel like I just watched physics defy itself.
Right?
Like,
Insane.
What the fuck? And then the match ends with my boy, with my son, my wrestle son, Bandito, climbing the top, grabs both the titles. I did not realize that if you only grab one title, you haven't won the match yet.
I didn't know that either.
They explain that they're like, he has to grab the other belt. But he does.
Which I thought,
cool.
Okay, someone mentioned this in the Discord, and I think it's such a fun story that they could do is have a guy from 2 different teams pull the belts down at the same time, and they have to defend them together.
They're like involuntary tag champs.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually, if you keep establishing that rule, you can do that down the road.
You can do that. Yeah.
That would be so much fun. Now, I thought that I think a lot of us had thought what was coming because on being the elite, first we got that video package of Luchasaurus getting doctored back to life, and a lot of us were like, wait, I know that jacket.
Yeah,
I know
Books
that
and
jacket.
I were talking about that.
I didn't really think it was him though. I just thought people were kind of like,
no, I knew it was him. I knew it was him.
That's so cool.
And then on being the elite, you get them. They got that package with the knife in it that said, for the next time you want to stab me in the back. And here's my thing is a lot of people were saying like, oh, Jack's going to come back and screw him. He's going to come back and screw him.
I was saying
like,
it too.
I was like, yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't have been as good if he just came out in the middle of a ladder match with like 2 other teams. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that would have been.
It wouldn't have had the same impact. I had imagined it very similarly to like, because like he joined the elite by interfering in a ladder match, Mm-hmm. So there's that AEW poetry that I was kind of expecting, but he comes out. And it was so funny. So we're in this Discord. We're all live. We're all chatting about this. And I believe Peg and Books were both like, where the fuck is Jack Perry? I'm so sick of having to wait for this. I'm sick of the teases. Like they were legit upset.
If you didn't know, I fucking love Jack Perry. He's one of my absolute fucking favorites. I know a lot of people are like, whatever with
I love Jack Perry.
I love him. There's something it's because I love little shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
it's a fucking smile.
And he shows up with just very inauspiciously, just like looks like one of the crew guys got in the ring for a minute. And then you realize that's Jack Perry. And the crowd doesn't even know it's him for a minute because it's just so low key.
Yeah.
And then him and the Bucks are kind of swearing at each other. And then he just tackles Matt or Nick and starts trading blows, and they overwhelm him. And then they set him up for the EVP trigger or whatever they call it now, the golden trigger.
BTE trigger.
The BTE trigger.
Back to that again?
Yep.
Yes. And they call for it, and he looks up and he's making that little smirk.
Yep.
The trademark
The
scapegoat
devilish
smirk.
rogue.
And the screen lights up, and you see the rest of the camera shots that we didn't see when the first time they showed Luchasaurus being brought back to life. It was Jack Perry resurrecting him.
Yeah.
And he
Dragging a
comes
fucking
out.
casket down the highway.
Yes. And well, because you remember when he became the scapegoat, he buried Jungle Boy.
Right.
Yep.
And so he dug Jungle Boy back up. So it was like a ceremonial like return of the babyface Jack Perry. And then Luchasaurus comes running down the ring.
Well, he's still kill switch.
He's still kill switch at this moment. Yes. But everybody knows what he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
He hits him with the double choke slam.
Double choke slam to the Bucks. They roll out of the ring and they hug. And look, I wasn't clamoring for a reunion of. I honestly wasn't hoping for.
I love how they did this, right? So Jack like points at his belt,
Yep.
and he takes it off and holds it up, and it says kill switch, and Jack points to the crowd. Kill switch lets out just a fucking roar, throws the fucking belt into the crowd, and then they get the hug.
Yeah.
They get the hug.
You get fucking Tarzan boy starts playing. Oh.
Yeah.
And like, I think this might be where you're getting, but I just want to say I've seen a lot of people like, well, I don't want him to be Jungle Boy again, and I'm like, he's not. I don't think he's gonna. They're not gonna introduce him as Jungle Boy. He's not gonna go back to wear little Tarzan trunks. Like, I think he's Jack Perry.
I mean, that's the thing is like if the act evolves.
Yeah.
I'll be much more excited about it than if they like go backwards, which like I didn't think they would, but they did play the music, right? So I was just like,
well, you have to.
I didn't quite know what to make of it in that regard. However, hearing the music, seeing how excited the fans were, I felt a way after I saw it.
Yep.
Like
that was a feel-good fucking moment.
It was like when before All In, when they were talking about Hangman needs to come out to the old music. And I was like, honestly, I like the music he has better. I like it better. And I do on a pure like musical basis. But when they turned it off and turned his old music on, I felt a way I wasn't expecting to feel.
Well, here's the big thing I took from this show. If you look at All Out a year ago, it was very much the bad guys are on top. You know? Hangman ends the night disheveled, screaming from that match with Swerve. And this night has up till this point been the good guys are fucking winning, except for Mox and Darby. But this match was very, you had Kris Statlander get the win. You get Jack and Luchasaurus back together. Cope and Christian get the win.
Even with Mox and Darby got his. Mox got his comeuppance,
Briscoe got it over on MJF. Like, this was a night for the good guys. We're restoring the feeling.
Yeah.
And it was, like you said, that tribute to the pandemic era. And like, I remember, I mean, we've talked about this, I think, on this show, just that's the shit that got me through the pandemic was every Wednesday you had this. And when they started lifting everything and we went to, God, was it All Out? When Punk came back, what was that? Was that an All Out in Chicago?
It was
where he wrestled for the first time. Yeah, where he wrestled Darby,
and that was the first time we got to go to see wrestling again. It was the first time I got to take my son, who had become a fan, and he's like, 8 or 10 or whatever at the time. And when he saw the stage, it was awesome. But the very first match was fucking Jungle Boy. And when they hit that music, he's little and he's singing and dancing. So again, seeing that just a couple days ago, it like you said, Blade, it made me feel a certain way. And it was that you guys got me through those hard times. And now look, you're fucking back, and
I think
boys are back.
That's been kind of the story of this year, right? Is like, because I remember at Revolution, that was my big takeaway, was last year was kind of like the Death Riders starting to take over, the death of Danielson, blah, 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 blah. And at Revolution, it was like you started to see, okay, the good guys are starting to get their groove back,
Yeah.
And this has very much been building to the good guys are all on top.
in a way, you could say, and I'm stretching a little bit here for sure, but like you could say the Death Riders are almost like kind of like symbolic of, let's just say, a really moody top star who came into the company and tried to change everything about it and said, "You guys are all pussies. You don't know what you're doing. None of you have done shit. You know, you really need to step up. You all need to step up. I work with fucking children." And Hangman,
you mean the type of guy who might attack somebody backstage in a show of toxic masculinity?
Absolutely. That's very similar to what I'm thinking about. I don't know if it's the same
like
guy.
almost like the way cancer does to the
like
exactly.
a cancer,
like a cancer. Yeah, like
I don't think you're the only one who caught that, Blade.
And the roster has risen from the ashes of that, and this year is like closing the loop. And
Big
like
time.
being like, hey, we remembered who we are. We are bringing, like, Antoine brought this up, is like, look, I'm not sure how I feel about Jurassic Express being back together, but the tag division needs them. And I'm like, that's such a good point. Like, this roster is so top graded. Jack Perry can do so much more in the tag division than he could in the singles division right now. So like, it's everybody's kind of being put where they belong. You got FTR, the Bucks, you got GOA, you got the Hurt Syndicate, you've got all of a sudden the tag division stacked again. Yeah. Like, and so it's really, really cool to see how much planning has been put into all of this.
And it's like we were saying earlier, I was talking about how much of wrestling is just kind of, you have to tread water to a certain extent until you have your moment. Well, you know what? Jack Perry had a little moment. This is not his moment right now. Now, like what you're saying, the tag division needs him. We'll let him sit over there for a little bit, you know?
He can make the biggest impact there. Yeah. He can make the biggest impact there. And you know, I'm all for it. He's grown so much as a character. He learned so much.
I was saying, you know, because someone was saying like, "Oh, I wish they never would have turned him heel now," or whatever.
No,
I'm like, no, he needed that because he needed that character growth. He needed to not just be goofy Jungle Boy. Like he needed.
He's the only person Punk got over in the entire time he was in AEW.
He needed to become Jack Perry. You know.
Yep. He did.
And,
he did.
You know, since we're already talking about it and we've been talking about it all night, I'll make one last mention of. You've got another company where you're rehashing old feuds from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and they're not really that exciting because you haven't pushed any new stars. Here's two dudes that 6 years ago, I had no clue who either of them were, other than obviously one had a really famous dad. Neither one of them, they were kind of almost a joke thing. This guy's name is Luchasaurus. They're called Jurassic Express. And in 6 short years, you have split them up, you've made them go away, and you've made the reunion. They're not even at the top of the card. And not only are they not at the top of the card, this storyline really, like, Luchasaurus got injured, Edge got injured. Like, whatever was supposed to happen with Christian Cage probably didn't exactly happen the way they wanted it.
Right.
And you still got a fucking capital M moment.
Yeah.
Out of, you know, like
people are always going to remember this. You're not going to forget this.
Well, this is, you build new stars. But like, it's cool. Building new stars is cool.
Yeah. And
Call me
Darby,
crazy.
Same thing with Darby, you know, 6 years of watching Darby work his way up the card. And now he's like, in these credible matches where he looks like he could beat Mox, you know, it's
and
like
what a testament this show was to this, because a lot of people say that there's no stars in AEW, blah 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 blah. Bullshit!
Ridiculous.
This whole night was fucking incredible. The crowd was into basically, you know, there was a couple lulls, but for the most part, the crowd was into everything. They were behind all of these wrestlers, and arguably some of your top guys were not even involved. We didn't have any Ospreay. We didn't have any Swerve Strickland. We didn't have any Kenny Omega. And it was still a night that felt huge.
Like I said, I think it was their second best show of the year, where it really was, where it was like, this is just after All In.
I have goosebumps. on my legs right now,
Yeah.
thinking about it.
And speaking of making new stars, we move on to our main event.
Yeah.
Now, the job of a world champion it used to be really simple to understand, right? You had to make credible challengers that look like they could beat you. And Hangman Page, since he has become a 2-time AEW Men's World Champion, has done a fantastic job of making everybody he's wrestled look incredibly credible, like they could beat him. And that night, Kyle Fletcher, right before our eyes, became a main event talent at All Out. 38-minute match. These two.
And they beat the dog shit out of each other.
What do they say? They left it all in the ring.
Fuck.
And this was where the mushrooms or whatever the fuck Daniel Bryan was taking, this is where it fully kicked in because that motherfucker was standing up, screaming. There's an old ECW match, and I think it's Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko. And you see this guy. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You see this dude, and he's like 3 rows back, and he keeps turning around to look at his friend. And he's just like, it's like he's never seen wrestling before, and his eyes are like fucking soft.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's Bryan Danielson in this match. Like,
yeah.
Oh my! He was
every one of us during that match.
Exactly.
Like, Jesus,
it was. You know, you could tell early on the match was going to go long because they paced it as a main event paced match. Where it's,
I will say I don't know what they were doing with the lights at the start of that match, but man, that was pissing me off.
They were trying to recreate the Osprey Hangman lighting from Double or Nothing. And
don't do that.
It just didn't work.
Just turn the fucking lights on.
Yeah. Well, they darkened the crowd at least, so they still spotlit the ring. And
see, that's good. I'm okay with that. But like, spotlight the ring. Don't just have the lights off. Like,
no, I know. Fletcher looked very dominant at times. There's no bullshit in the match whatsoever. It was all pretty much
the stipulation was if anyone from the Don Callis family got involved, they're stripping Kyle of his TNT championship.
Right. And Kyle, they got me to bite on a few near falls. I mean, I'm like, there's no fucking way Kyle is winning this match. But by the end of it, man, I'm just like, you could belt this guy up. Like soon. Oh, really soon.
I've been very, very, very big on Kyle Fletcher all year. He's been someone who I am like top fucking heel in the business right now. I think you could there were moments in this match where I was like, he could be the greatest of all time. Like,
I think that's like, imagine him in 5 years. He's 26.
Exactly.
So, imagine him in 5 years. And so think about this. Your current top 3-4 heels, you have Kazuchika Okada, you have MJF, you have Kyle Fletcher, to say nothing of so many other people you could name, right? You John Moxley, I didn't name. You have just a murderer's row all the way around on the babyface side, on the heel side. Konosuke Takeshita is about to turn babyface. And Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Jay White, and Swerve are all on the bench right now. Kota Ibushi is on the bench right now. And Jack Perry just came back.
Mm-hmm. And Wes Cassidy's about to.
We didn't mention that.
Yeah, we had a little
bit.
Back. Yep. So
I
Wednesday,
loved the way they did this. I thought the way Kyle O'Reilly did his part in this was so good.
Well, the whole promo, I'm like, why the fuck is Kyle just on the phone?
Right. He's just talking on the phone, and Mark's like, is he ready to come back? And Kyle goes, he just said, whatever. And then this little mischievous look on Kyle's face. Kyle is the biggest dork, and he loves just being a giant dork.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so content with that, being that.
Yeah.
It's honestly
awesome.
inspiring to watch. He's so cool, man. I love Kyle. But so Orange is coming back. And I
Wednesday.
think WrestleDream, Orange Cassidy, the conglomeration, Darby Allin finally put the Death Riders to bed.
Sure.
I think that's where it's going to happen.
Makes sense. Yeah, because they always make fun of those guys, like they're not very nice to the conglomeration.
No.
So yeah.
And a lot of those people are people they've kind of tortured.
You got to think who had before he's been building up Darby.
It was
who
Orange.
Did Mox build up? It was Orange.
Well,
right.
And to your point, before I brought the Orange Cassidy thing up, though, Blade, is you've got, and I don't mean to. Now I'm gonna fucking segue from that. All those dudes you named. Give it a month. Somebody gets injured and you got to slot somebody else into the main event spot. You've got like 8 fucking dudes that you could convincingly do it within like a month, 2 months time. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I had to loop back around to that.
Guys,
before we
2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, Swerve couldn't get on Dynamite regularly. And if he was in a big match, he was losing.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, just like these guys, they're not just making stars. They have stars everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And people just on the cusp of being huge stars. You got Bandito, who's like right there, but he's not quite there. And Takeshita, who's not quite there, but he could be there any moment that you want him to be.
Kyle Fletcher is another great example.
He's Fletcher is another
fucking there.
They're smart enough, or Tony Khan is smart enough to take his time with it. So you don't have a Randy Orton where it's like, we pushed this guy way too fucking fast and he was going to get there anyway. They don't do that, at least not yet. We'll see. But
hopefully they continue not to do that. Yeah. I mean, Nick Wayne, they've been very careful with, even though they've given him a lot of great opportunities for a guy that young. But he's proven to be worth the effort and worth the opportunity. So I think, Tony has been very smart about how he's played all of this. But something we're going to be really smart about is getting the fuck out of here because I got to edit this shit and get it out tomorrow.
Hangman won.
Hangman
won.
Did defeat Fletcher after looking like he was going to lose a lot of times.
Yeah.
Fletcher really credibly looked like he could beat Hangman.
Yes.
And that was the point of the match. And this is AEW at its strongest. I never want to hear people talk about the glory days of 2021 like it was the best thing AEW's ever done again. 2025 has crushed any year.
I have said this after every single pay-per-view this year that 2025, the end of 2024 going into this year of AEW has been the most fun that I have had as a wrestling fan since I was a child.
Ever.
And first discovering it.
I pretty much said that every year about AEW. But this year, this was like, I mean, before we came over to record this, I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone and he was just like, okay, if you're still trying to be in that camp where you say AEW doesn't do this or they can't do that, he's like, you're not a wrestling fan. Just like
you're not. You're either watching strictly WWE or you're not a wrestling fan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Obviously, we have different taste in what we enjoy, but like
trying to be a contrarian, which is like the worst thing that's ever come out of the internet. But just the run they have been on, like. Every pay-per-view has seemed better than the last. You know what I mean? And like, I forget who someone had said it. Maybe it was one of you two. But like, this is a moment that I think, like, in the history of wrestling, people are going to look back on like the run they have had this year, and they are going to say, "Holy shit! Like, this was a special year."
Like how we all argue about if '97 was the best year that ever happened in pro wrestling. 2025 is going to be one of those years.
Yes. And I think as well, like the magic of like the NWA and WCW at its best and ECW at its best, WWE at its best, like all of it's happening in AEW all at once right now. New Japan at its best. And it's all currently happening there.
It's the funnel.
As much as I love shitting on the Fed right now, like I don't want to be that person because I used to be a huge WWE fan, right?
Me too.
I just, their politics right now and a lot of stuff they're doing I don't like. But really is like if ever there was a great time for all of this shit to be happening in AEW, it's right now. Because WWE is trying so hard to bury them, and they are just coming out of this looking so weak. Like,
well, and I was gonna close with that thought is, I know on paper they looked at like, we'll make our debut on ESPN the same day they do this, and we're bigger, so more people will watch, and it's gonna steal the headlines away from them. And I had said, I don't think I said it on one of the shows, but I've said it to both of you and I've said it to Joshi, is the problem, though, is you're going to have an AEW pay-per-view followed by a WWE pay-per-view, which you're going to make your product look like shit. Like,
well, on social media, the whole night, all I kept seeing by the time WrestlePalooza was over, all I kept seeing were, you'd see one person post about how much fucking fun All Out was, and then the next post would be someone like, what the fuck was that? Talking about WrestlePalooza. Like, what a waste of time. I paid for that? Why did I pay for that? You know?
We've all pointed out that when AEW started to hit his stride was when Tony stopped addressing what WWE is doing and just focused on the product. So WWE, if you're listening, just focus on your own product. Make your own shit good. Stop worrying about everybody else.
Make something people want to watch on a weekly basis, and stop making everything about surprise debuts and, that aren't surprises, and stop doing that. Like, make it about putting on a good show. It's pretty staggering to me.
But
well, that's what I think a big problem is WWE, like AEW, like, the thing that helps them is even if the story isn't that great, you're gonna see the best goddamn wrestling you're gonna watch that night,
Right.
And the problem with WWE is their style is so much slower, so much more prodding, that if the story's not there, the match doesn't do anything for you, And it's just like, man, they gotta like stop being so stuck in like, well, we're doing it the way you know what I mean? Like, they need to just open it up and let their characters breathe, let them wrestle.
They need different people. They need different people writing what they're doing. I think that WWE is built on, it's like Facebook. Facebook was built in like 2006, right? And they've added live video, and they've added every like additional thing that the world did since then, just on top of that original thing. So when you go to the website, like, let's just say you actually liked being on Facebook, which I hate, but like, you actually like being there. The site runs slow. It sucks. Everything's kind of hard to find. Like, it's not any fun to be on. And that's what WWE feels like, is like, they're built on the 1986 Vince McMahon formula, and they've just built on top of it for 30, 40 years. And now it just feels lumbering and outdated, and they need a fresh set of eyes to run this company, because Levesque can't do it. He just can't do it. And that's all we're going to say about it.
Yeah.
Everybody, this has been Sit Down the Hard Way. I'm Blade Daly.
Yeah.
I'm Brett Michelle.
I'm still Professor Degree.
Unfortunately. Goodbye.
Hey. On the hard way, next one, we're going to be talking about Halloween Havoc 97 because it's October, so we're doing a bunch of spooky shit. Bye!
Sickos Club.